The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
The proclamation from the Holy Gospel according to Saint Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
That very day, the first day of the week, two of Jesus' disciples were going to a village 7 miles from Jerusalem called Emmaus. And they were conversing about all the things that had occurred. And it happened that while they were conversing and debating, Jesus himself drew near and walked with them. But their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you discussing as you walk along?" They stopped, looking downcast, and one of them, named Cleopas, said to him in reply, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know of the things that have taken place in these days?" And he replied to them, "What sort of things?" They said to him, "The things that had happened to Jesus the Nazarene, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people. How our chief priests and rulers both handed him over to a sentence of death and crucified him. But we were hoping that he would be the one to redeem Israel. And besides all this, it is now the third day since this took place. Some women from our group, however, have astounded us. They were at the tomb early in the morning and did not find his body. They came back and reported that they had indeed seen a vision of angels who announced that he was alive. Then some of those with us went to the tomb and found things just as the women had described, but him they did not see." And he said to them, "Oh, how foolish you are! How slow of heart to believe all that the prophets spoke. Was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory?" Then beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them what referred to him in all the scriptures. As they approached the village to which they were going, he gave the impression that he was going on farther. They urged him, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening and the day is almost over." So he went in to stay with them. And it happened that while he was with them at table, he took bread, said a blessing, broke it, and gave it to them. With that, their eyes were open, and they recognized him, but he vanished from their sight. Then they said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he spoke to us on the way and opened the scriptures to us?" So they set out at once and returned to Jerusalem, where they found gathered together the 11 and those with them who were saying, "The Lord has truly risen, has been raised, and has appeared to Simon." Then the two recounted what had taken place on the way, and how he was made known to them in the breaking of the bread. My dear brothers and sisters, the gospel of the Lord. Parang gusto kong sabihin, ang saya-saya. We are into a new field of communication, which actually is the language of the moment. Alam niyo ba na sa mga schools dito sa Italy, ito na ngayon ang ginagawa. At hindi lamang dito sa Italy. In almost every place now, people are studying, people are communicating through these means. Salamat sa Zoom, isang bagay na para din sa akin ay bago at sigurado para din sa marami sa inyo. But this is a gift that we have to use in these difficult moments of the coronavirus. My dear friends, someone said this, that life is full of expectations, and that life is also full of many disappointments. disappointments. Sa mga Chinese, sabi nila, if you want to be truly happy, lessen your desires, less expectations, less disappointments. At totoo, sa maraming buhay na dumaan at hanggang ngayon, people will say that. You know, somebody said who wanted to be an actress, it's more beautiful to dream to be an actress than to be one. Guess nyo kung sino? Marilyn Monroe. A lot of people will dream dreams and long for things to happen, and frustrations will always follow. Magiging medyo bulgar ako ng konti, ha? Sabi ng isang babae, I longed for him. Gusto niya yung isang lalaki. I got him. Ending, shit. Sorry. In short, marami kang inaasahan, ngunit bagay na kadalasan hindi mo makukuha. And I love the statement of somebody, we will always have disappointments. It takes courage to go on. If the disappointments are with people, yung mga katagang, hindi ko akalaing ganun siya. Nagbago siya. Naisahan ako. Nadenggoy ako. Hindi siya ang napangasawa ko. Hindi ito ang taong pinangakuan ako na hindi naman kaya palang tuparin. Expectations, frustrations, longings, disappointments. The disciples of Jesus of today are going through the same during the time when they decided to leave Jerusalem. Sila na mismong magsasabi, when they were asked by Jesus, where are you going? And they said, ikaw lang ba ang hindi nakakalam sa nangyari sa Jerusalem? Jerusalem is the center of the religious events. You go to Jerusalem for the big things. Now these two are going away from Jerusalem. Why? Because ang feeling nila, that was it. Everything has ended. Yung inasahan natin, yung akala natin ating matatanggap, yung inaasahan natin, and we had hopes on Him. Alam mo mga Israelites, during the time they were a suffering nation. Why? Because they were under the Romans. They were bearing the yoke of people who were slaves. They wanted to get out of it. And they had dreamt always of that Messiah's coming who will, as they say, liberate Israel from its slavery. And they saw signs in Jesus. He spoke with authority. He was one who made miracles. He was one who was multiplying bread and fish. He spoke with a different way of speaking. And some of these people, his disciples and the disciples said, kami, nasa kanya na kami. We will bet on him. Siya na ang aming aasahan. And then they saw that dream bursting like anything. They saw him killed, a cruel death, a dream bathed in blood, and a tomb that was borrowed. For these people, the end has come. There was nothing more in Jerusalem. And so these two decided, ayaw na namin, we're going away. Disappointed, frustrated, and as they were saying, akala pa naman namin, siya na. But dear friends, brothers and sisters, the disappointments will continue. But sometimes the disappointment is greater when you feel disappointed with God. Sa nangyayari sa atin ngayon, marami nagsasabi, Lord, nasaan ka? Sa mga pagkakataong kailangan ka namin, hindi namin nararamdaman ang iyong presensya. Sa mga pagkakataong feel namin, dapat na andito ka bilang Diyos na sumasaklolo, wala ka. I have to go back to what I've once explained to you about prayer. At tinatanong ko yung palagi, pag hindi pa ninyo nito nasasagot, ay sasampal-sampalin ko na kayo. Tanong lang, lahat ba ng dasal sinasagot ni Lord? Siyempre, ang sagot dyan, yes. Hindi, Father. 30 taon na ako nagdadasal sa Baklaran, lumuluhod pa ako, lumalakad pa akong paluhod. Ilang taon na ako na novena sa Quiapo. Lahat ng santo'y nilapitan ko na. Ilang beses na rin ako naniniklod kay Lord Father, hindi pa niya sinasagot yung aking dasal. Ikiklear ko sa iyo na sa bawat isang nagtatanong at humihingi, there are always two possible answers. The first answer is yes. The second answer is no. And no is definitely a valid answer. Ang problema is, baka mataga ka na rin niyang sinagot ng no, ayaw mo lang tanggapin na sa hinihingi mo, ang sagot niya ay no. Ngayon, in-explain na natin yon kung bakit mas mahalagang itanong, pag hindi binigay ni Lord yung hinihingi ko, bakit ayaw niyang ibigay? Why is his answer is no? At bibilisan lang natin. The first answer we know is, ang kausap mo ay isang Diyos na mas nakakaalam sa iyo kung anong iyong pangangailangan. Isang Diyos who is a powerful God, but more than just a God, He is a loving Father. Ang isang ama ng lahat ng hinihingi ng isang batang anak ay ibinibigay, malamang sa malamang hindi niya mahal na tunay ang anak. Bakit? You cannot just give everything that your son or your daughter asks of you. Siyempre bilang isang amang o inang nagmamahal, titignan mo, ito ba'y bagay sa kanya? Ito ba'y makakatulong sa kanya? Ito ba'y isang bagay na dapat kong ibigay kasi para sa kabutihan niya? If the Father in heaven says no, is it perhaps because what you're asking is not good for you? And his answer has to be a no. Kapatid, there are moments for a father or a mother when they know no is the better answer. Ikalawa, siyempre, pag humihingi ka kay Lord, sometimes feeling mo, parang no ang sagot niya. Actually, sometimes hindi no. Ang sagot niya ay, not yet. Hindi muna. Kasi ako may timing ako. In my perfect timing, as we have said, He will make all things beautiful. And so not to give up, but just to keep on praying. Because I know na itong aking kausap, sa sobrang niya akong mahal, hindi lamang niya, alam niya kung anong dapat ibibigay. Alam niya rin kung kailan ibibigay. Pangatlo, bakit no? Kasi ang hinihingi mo, cheap. Si Lord may naka-reserve. Ang sinasabi niya ay, yung hinihingi mo ngayon, ang sagot ko ay no. Bakit? May mas maganda akong ibibigay sa iyo. I love this poem that I discovered recently. And it is a beautiful poem. And I would like to read it para sa inyo. Natuwa lang ako rito kasi ito matagal ko nang hinahanap at sa awa ng Diyos, nahanap ko na rin. And this is how the poem goes. Ang sabi ng isa, marami siyang hiningi kay Lord. Ngunit in the end, hindi man niya ibinigay yung aking hinihingi, lahat ng aking dapat matanggap ay aking tinanggap. He said, I asked for strength, and God gave me difficulties to make me strong. I asked for wisdom, and God gave me problems to solve. I asked for prosperity, and God gave me brawn and brain to work. I asked for courage, and God gave me dangers to overcome. I asked for patience. God placed me in situations where I was forced to wait. I asked for love, and God gave me troubled people to help. I asked for favors, and God gave me opportunities. I received nothing I wanted. I received everything I needed. My prayer has definitely been answered. Huwag niyong kalilimutan, ang inyong kausap ay isang ama na walang hangad kundi ang inyong kabutihan. Remember Jesus telling us, bago pa kayo lumapit, alam na niya ang inyong pangangailangan. Ang problema sa atin, kadalasan di natin alam the difference between what I truly need and what I just want. What is truly urgent and what is just a whim. Kaya sa akin, one of the best prayers pa rin, Lord, not my will, but yours be done. There is a fourth kung bakit ayaw ni Lord ibigay yung isang bagay na hiningi natin. Sinabi na natin, no, diretsahang no, hindi maganda para sa'yo. No, sapagkat wala pa sa timing. Not yet. No, sapagkat mayroon akong naka-reserve na mas maganda. May pang-apat. No, because I'd like you to increase your faith. Because moments of trials will make you resolve to love me more, to be closer to me more. My dear friends, brothers and sisters, the disappointment of the two disciples at Emmaus was so strong. But now the gospel reading tells us it is precisely in these moments of disappointments when Jesus comes near to us. Kanina struggle tayo. Ako na rin, struggle ako rito kasi nag-iisa akong nag-aayos ng lahat. Sabi ko na nga sa inyo, yung ating ginagamit ay yung magagamit lang. Nagbuhat ako, naglagay ako, nag-install ako, kung ano pang pwedeng gawin. But we are doing this because we feel that what we are celebrating is indeed the moment when we feel God's presence. He speaks to us through the word that we have heard, to the gospel. Ang daang misa, sabi na natin noon pa, dalawa yan. Two major parts. Siyempre may introduction, siyempre may conclusion. But the first part is what we call the liturgy of the word. Why? Where we listen to His word and pray that our hearts be aflame so that we will truly long for His presence in the next part of the celebration. The Word of God prepares us for that which is truly a wonderful encounter. We listen to Him. We have our hearts aflame in love for Him. And then comes the liturgy of the Eucharist, where He gives Himself to us in the breaking of the bread. My dear friends, we may sometimes feel God is away, but it is in moments when we feel He is not present when He truly is closest to us. Matagal na nating naririnig to, pero I'm sure yung mga kabataan, hindi ako sigurado kung alam pa ba nila. Many years ago, probably 20 years ago, there is this beautiful poem we call Footprints in the Sand. For those of you who have known this, let's refresh it today because ang sarap nung ending eh. And here is the poem. One night, I dreamed a dream. As I was walking along the beach with the Lord, across the dark sky flashed scenes from my life. For each scene, I noticed two sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to me and one to my Lord. After the last scene of my life flashed before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. I noticed at the many times along the path of my life, especially the very lowest and saddest times, there was only one set of footprints. This really troubled me. So I asked the Lord about it. Lord, you said once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I noticed that during the saddest and most troublesome times of my life, there was only one set of footprints. I do not understand why, when I needed you most, you would leave me. He whispered, my precious child, I love you and will never leave you. Never ever during your trials and testings. When you saw only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. Today, as we go on with our abnormal lives, bored, not knowing what to do, uncertain of the future, let us be certain about one thing. God is a God who truly loves us. And in these moments, He's closest to us. Maybe these are the times when we have to go back to His Word, listen to Him. And in the Eucharist, even if we could not truly receive Him in the communion, let us reunite ourselves to Him and tell Him, Lord, as we break bread today, may we recognize your presence amongst us and amongst the people with us. Amen.